Good morning, everyone. This is our last lesson for the Unit 1, the Geography of China. And in this lesson, we'll mostly focus on revision and recapping of all the content that we've learned in the previous lessons. Again, there are certain reminders before we begin the lesson. I want all students to have the student handbook ready this time. Keep your GS handbook. If you don't have, you can have your notebook ready. And textbook, workbook is optional, as again, many students may not have it with them. But if you have them, it's excellent. You can refer to those pages. Have your stationery pencil eraser ready with you, and again maintain a good distance from your PC and use headphones if you cannot hear clearly. Okay, so I give you 1 minute to get everything with you, besides you, so that we can have the lesson running smoothly. Schedule of the day, we'll have news sharing, and then we'll have a recap of landforms that we learned in Unit 1 and 2. Then after that, you'll have to play a Jeopardy game. You'll have to click on the link that Mrs. Desai has given you, and you need to complete the game. So when you play this game, you need to pause the video. Once you complete, come back to it and continue it. Followed by, we'll do revision, the geography of China. We'll finish talking about landforms, terrain, different crops that are produced in certain regions. And then, most importantly, finally, you have homework. Two homeworks you have. When you have the landform diorama project, that you can watch the slide and get more information, and then you have concept map. Now, besides these two, there are also a couple of other worksheets which are posted in the Google Classroom, which you need to complete as well. Student number 20 and 21, please send the new sharing file to the following email address, that is desai@cms.edu.hk, and that will be received by Mrs. Desai. Let's recap what we learned in the last two lessons. Last two lessons we learned certain terms. We learned about landforms. What are landforms? What are the different types of landforms? And how are certain landforms unique to a certain country, space, or region? And the different types of landforms are, I'm sure you all know that, but they are like, say, ocean, it could be volcano, mountain, hill, plateau, what else? Desert, valley, and many, many more. We also learned about bodies of water. What are different bodies of water? Ocean, rivers, lake, reservoir. Anything that contains water are the bodies of water. We also learned about like climate, did we? Yeah. Climate is a very important element in terms of what we are learning now, the way landforms are created, because one of the major factor is climate. The reason why landforms are created the way they are created. Say, for example, in a dry desert, the soil is very arid. There's no water, there's no vegetation. Why? One of the main reasons is because of the climate condition in that place. There is not much rainfall. The climate is very extreme. It's extremely hot in the morning, daytime, and it's extreme cold at nighttime. So it's got very fluctuating temperatures, and the landforms are created because of the climate conditions in that region. So climate is a major factor in the way landforms are created. And natural resources, like different natural resources, what are the different natural resources that are present in the landforms? Water, air, wood, sunlight. These are different natural resources. And we also learnt about terms like a relief map, a terrain. What is a relief? What is a terrain? Terrain is like, say, it's different landforms present on the surface of the earth, right? There are some straight landforms like plain or plateau, which are very, like which are straight, which are plain, okay, which are not hilly or rocky. Like hills are little elevated, mountains are huge rocky structures, and valley is a deep, like a lowland between two huge mountains, right? So these are the different terrains which are present in the landform. Let's play Landform Jeopardy game. All of you, you need to click on the link below and start the game. Let's pause the video till you finish your game. The geography of China. This is a map of China, how China is geographically located in this part of Asia. As you can see from the map, that China, how it's surrounded by different countries on different sides, and it's got the Pacific Ocean on the east. It's got Russia, Mongolia in the north, and in the south it's got Myanmar, Vietnam, and here on this side it's got India, Nepal, and on the east it's got the big Pacific Ocean. And the two biggest islands that China has are Taiwan and Hainan. So this is basically how geographically China is located in this part of Asia, and this map also shows us the different landforms which are present in the region, and how we can tell that the map highlights different landforms. We can tell by the key that's given, and the key says like ocean, rivers, and country boundaries. Now we know which lines represent what. Now when you look at the red lines, we know that these are the boundaries that are present between different countries, right? We will not mistake that for river. And if you want to look at river, we will look at the blue lines. The three blue lines that you see in the eastern side of China, you see the three main rivers in China. And also, like you see the ocean, that's all shaded blue. So we can tell the geographical location from the north arrow symbol. We can tell the directions of the countries surrounding China. Hey everyone, let's look at the relief map or terrain map. Here we have this map in front of us, and we can tell it shows us the different landforms which are present in this region in China. And you can tell from a relief map, it gives us the height and depth of different landforms in a particular region. If you look at the key in the right hand bottom, you can see it's got different shades and it's got different heights. You can see the 3000 meters, 2000 meters, and so on and so forth. So if you look at the brown color, where is the brown color on the map? It's on the western side. Okay, so you can tell these brown colors represent those big mountains, okay, which are as tall as 3000 and taller than that. So it's a very mountainous region. Now, if you look at the lighter shade, okay, which is nearer to the dark brown color, that is 2000 meters, that means a little smaller mountains. You come to 200 meters. If you see 200 meters, the color is green, dark green to little light green, and you can say it on the eastern side of China, like the northeast China plain, the North China plain. On the eastern side, it's all very green and shades of green. That means it's a plain, okay, and mostly it's agricultural land or it's very fertile land. So here, this relief map, it shows us the different heights and the depths of the landforms that are present in that region. Now, if you see on the eastern side, there are two biggest islands which China has, and they are Taiwan and Hainan, which are circle. These are the two largest islands present in the region. Now, look at the map closely, and you can see three rivers, three blue lines going, one from the north, Huanghe, central, Shangsheng, and at the bottom it is the Xuxian. Okay, all these three are the main rivers in China. And if you observe carefully, the rivers, they have their mouth, that means they're flowing into East China Sea, right? So now my question is, why do rivers go into East China Sea? They fall into the ocean on the eastern side and they don't go towards the western side. And let's look at the side map of China relief, or a terrain map. Terrain means the surface of land with different landforms. That's called the terrain. Now, if you look at the terrain of China, it has got the sea, the water body, and then this is a bird's eye view. And then it has a plain. Plain, as I told you before, it's a flat piece of land with minimum vegetation. It doesn't have tall trees, or it's just grassland. And then it's plateau. Again, this plateau is similar to plain, but at a much higher, at a much greater height. And then you have mountains, and then you have hills. So this is the side terrain of China. See, as you can see in the picture above, the sea, okay, and then you have Changjiang Plain, then you have Sichuan Basin, Tibetan Plateau is the world's famous plateau, Tibetan Plateau, and then the highest Himalayan range is the mountain range in China, between China and India. Let's look at other landforms in China. Here in this slide, we'll talk about three main rivers in China. Look at these pictures. The first one you see is Huanghe. It's in the northern part of China, and it says it's one of the first region where Chinese people lived in the past. Now, next, go down. It's the Shangxiang, which is in the central part of China, and the last is the lowest plain is Zhujiang, which is in the southern part of China. My question to you last time was, why do the three main rivers of China flow into the sea? Did you think about the answer? Well, let's just look at the map and find out. First, we'll look at the three rivers, the one that you can see on the left, where you can see three blue lines clearly, all the three rivers, the main rivers in China, and you see that they're flowing into the sea. You can see that they're flowing into the Pacific Ocean. Now, the question was, why do they go towards Pacific Ocean and why they don't go towards the western region, to the other side? Now, for that, to answer that, you'll have to look at the map on your right, okay, which shows us the relief map or the terrain map. Now, if you see the one that's on your right, the one that's shaded with different colors like dark brown and green color on the eastern side, you can tell by looking at the colors that the dark brown suggests that the place is a hilly region. It's a mountainous region and it's at a higher level. Okay, it's very high. Whereas the eastern region, as you can see, it's quite plain, and there are three rivers and there's a lot of green color which says that it's agricultural land, plantation, it could be forest, it's good for vegetation, right? So the water naturally, instead of going towards a higher plane, it will go towards the lower plane. So by looking at the relief map, you can tell which terrain is at a higher level and which terrain is at the lower level. Look at this map. It shows us the crops produced in different regions in China. As you can see from the map, at least like more than 95% of the crop is produced in the eastern region of China, whereas the western region, if you see, like there's only cotton and it's not much being grown there. By now, you should be able to answer that. because as we know from the relief map that we looked earlier, the western part of China is very hilly, mountainous, it's a plateau region, whereas compared to the eastern part, which is plain, and also there are three major rivers flowing through the eastern part. What are the three major rivers? Huanghe, Shangjing, and Shuxing. These are the three rivers. And to do agriculture, okay, to produce crops, you need to have a lot of water and a lot of plain land. And that's the reason that the eastern region is most suitable for farming. As you can see from the map, that wheat is mainly cultivated in the northern part of China, whereas paddy rice is mainly grown in the southern regions. Now, if I ask you, okay, where can we have abundant supply of seafood? What's your answer? Of course, it's going to be near to the coastal region, okay, in the eastern part near the sea. Look at all these three different pictures, three different activities. You should be able to tell what these different activities are. And these are some major industries in China and even in many like parts of the world. Whereas one, you grow something, one is like fishing, I'll tell you that. And besides naming these activities, you should be able to tell as well that which part of China, say for example, in the northern region, where is fishing done in? Is it done in the northern region or is it in western region, eastern region? You should be able to tell the direction, okay, the part of China where these activities are primarily carried out. Last but not the least, you're required to create a diorama project. That means you have to create your own landform, a 3D model or 4D model, like you can make it in a shoebox or you can make it on a flat piece of paper, but you have to have those like 3D artifacts. And as you can see in these two pictures, there are two different landforms which are created. You can use clay, you can use your tools, you can use paper craft, you can use anything, you can color them because landforms are very strikingly different colors, and you can label them. Once you finish this diorama project, what you can do is you can make a movie or like record a video of it, or you can send us pictures and have an audio file with that. Okay, now there is no time limit for making this diorama project. You can take 2 weeks because it requires certain amount of time if you want to do it properly. And also once the school reopens, you can bring this diorama project, this model with you to school, and you can present it to your classmates. This is part of your homework as well. It's the concept map about Unit 1, the geography of China, what we have learned in lesson 1, 2, and 3. Now, as you can see, most of you are familiar with the concept map. Now, as you can see, the concept map, some of the key features are highlighted, and you have to recollect what major rivers did we talk about in this chapter. If you don't remember the names, you need to go back to the lesson, look at the slides. If you have a book, you can refer to the textbook, write the names of three major rivers. Now, relief. What is relief? Relief means terrain. What is a terrain? That means different landforms present in a region are called terrains. That makes a terrain. So now here you have to write different terrains that are present in China that you can see from the map. Of course, there are many, many more, many terrains, but you can look at the map and find out which terrains are there and you can write those names. And here in your left, the different crops that are grown in China. Again, you'll have to refer to the map to finish this concept map. And once you complete the concept map in your GS handbook, you need to take a picture, you need to upload the homework for the teacher to mark. Now, how to upload homework? Well, along with this lesson, I have given you a link, okay, which tells you how to upload homework in Google Classroom. So if you do not know how to upload homework, please refer to the link.